Social media has made it so much easier for so many people to act so badly on such a big scale. How did you realize that you could steal the weapons of chauvinists and bullies, like confrontation, scorn, humiliation, and that you could use them and then turn it against them?
I don't think it was like an epiphany really that I had. I think that's how I've always dealt with men who were awful in real life. So I just decided to record myself doing it one day. And turns out a lot of people found it entertaining, so it worked out. But that's just, I think, a tactic I've implemented throughout my adult years in dealing with men. That's just kind of my shtick now. But
one of the things that's genuinely new about new media is the way that influencers get paid, how they make money, how their professional landscape is shaped. I'd love just sort of an overview of like what you imagine your finances might look like next year.
Hopefully great. Hopefully they look good and they look like well funded and they look awesome and they look comfortable. I have different kinds of projects that are in the more traditional media realms, and then I also have social media brand deals, and then you get paid from things like views off things like TikTok. As far as what my funds are going to look like, not entirely sure, honestly. I know Forbes printed a number. If that's the real number, let me know where it's at.
Success, whether it comes from making money or getting clicks, Drew, it has like a kind of magnetic force. I feel like once you've done something that works, it's so tempting to like kind of just try to keep repeating it. Yeah. How do you manage to stay true to yourself without just like leaning into, to what the algorithm just wants from you?
The jokes I make, obviously, I think they're hilarious, but I think I can only make fun of a dude who says the exact same thing over and over again so many times. And I think when I hit that wall, it was because I started getting bored. Like I got bored looking at a dude say the exact same thing I saw 20 times earlier that year. So I actually tried to shift my content and also use other platforms in order to showcase other parts of my life. So my Instagram is more my lifestyle-based stuff. Sometimes if I'm on like Threads or something, I'll do more silly things, like silly thoughts or isms that come across my brain that aren't necessarily tied to making fun of men.
You have a kind of genius, I think is a fair word, for calling other people out.
Thank you.
But last year you were criticized for a partnership with Shein, a multi-billion-dollar Chinese retail giant. Shein's clothing in particular has been made with cotton from the region in China where the State Department says Uyghur people face horrific abuses. Yeah. Could you have done anything differently, or what could you have done differently?
I think what I could have done differently was more research, to be quite honest with you. What I will say about that deal is the reason why I did it at the time was because that particular capsule that I platformed was by small female Black and brown designers. That was the reason why I did it, because as a woman of color, I wanted to platform other women of color, right? And I wanted to be able to uplift them and empower them. And that's what my line of thinking was at the time. Looking back, would I have done it? No. Looking forward, will I ever do it again? No. And so I think if you don't grow and you don't change, then you're probably a robot. But I feel like making a mistake in the spotlight was bound to happen. That happened to me, happened really early on. Thankfully I learned, and now we're in a much better position now, which is a good thing.
One very, very simplified way of thinking about, just like the entire history of American mass media is that, radio dominated until network TV. Yep. And then network TV dominated until cable TV, which dominated until big tech platforms and user-generated content. Yeah. Is AI content going to be the thing that's dominating us next? I mean, either way, are you like sort of scared of what's to come?
As far as whether or not it's going to replace any sort of existing media, one of my good friends, ER Fimester, when they were on my show, they were explaining the catch-22 about AI is that it pulls from human experience. So it has nothing to generate if it doesn't pull from the human experience. So if it's an AI, if it's an existing non-tangible thing, it cannot experience life through a human's eyes, which means it can't create anything beautiful from the human experience. So it doesn't exist without humans. And so it's kind of a chicken egg thing, I guess, but I don't think it's the future. It shouldn't be. We should take lessons from Age of Ultron. It's going to overrun us. But on a more serious note, I just don't think the future of media exists without the human experience, with the human brain.
Drew, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
It was an honor. Watch the Businessweek show Thursday nights, 10:30 Eastern on Bloomberg Television or 8:30 on Bloomberg.com or the Bloomberg app on connected TVs.